Welcome to the Encore Audio Archives YouTube channel. I'm Taper Dave, and this is my channel. I've uploaded hundreds of talks here that I've recorded at meetings in West LA, and I've also recorded conventions starting in 2013. I've got a bunch of those up. And Walt and Mary Murray, the original owners of Encore Audio Archives, started the company in the 80s, and Walt recorded Joe and Charlie's and a bunch of stuff down in Vista, California. My sobriety date is June 20th of 1994. I hope you find something you like, so please like and subscribe to my channel and comment down below. If you want to hear something that I don't have or that you don't see, I'll see that I get it. Anyways, take care and have a great day if you want to.
My name is Thomas Henderson, and I'm a cocaine addict. I was thinking, how did I get to Cocaine Anonymous? In 1981, when I had already played in 3 Super Bowls with the Dallas Cowboys, I found myself in a clinic in Arizona. I was in a cab going from the airport to the clinic, and I'm smoking crack in the back of the cab. And the cab driver says, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm smoking crack." He said, "Where are we going?" I said, "I'm going to treatment." He said, "You damn sure need to go, dog." So I pull up in front of this clinic, and I sit on the front porch of the clinic, and I smoked till I was done. A few days later, I'm in group for the first time. And I noticed that the people in my group were crazy. One lady was pulling up her dress, and one lady I saw early in the day turning doorknobs, and I'm sitting in this group, and I'm going, these people are crazy. Then I thought, I'm in the group. That was 81. I walked in the rooms of Cocaine Anonymous in 1983 shamed. I was in Los Angeles smoking crack with some teenage girls, and I was charged with sexual misconduct, smoking crack. I was wrong, dead wrong. But in the world that I was living in the crack world, if you smoked my crack, you owed me something. I went to the penitentiary on that. You know, that's been a source of shame for me and my family for over 25 years. Because that wasn't Thomas. That was Thomas the crackhead. I remember in 1979 when we first started using Freebase, you had to really be careful with the ether, and I started smoking bass with some famous people. Now, before I tell you about these famous people, I want you to know that they asked me to leave their house. I'm talking about Richard Pryor and Marvin Gaye. They have said, get out, go. Because something happened to me under the influence of that drug. I was born in Austin, Texas. I was raised by a good woman, a hard-working woman who was a fry cook and a domestic. My father worked at a service station, the father I knew at that time. I didn't meet my real father until I was 22 years old, and I got drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. All of a sudden, out of New York, here come this motherfucker talking about, "You my son, that's my boy." I was always a pretty good student, but I grew up in the 60s. By 68, I'm 15 years old. By 69, I'm 16. And I live in Austin, Texas, and I'm taking trips on acid. I'm smoking weed. I'm gambling. I'm just a street boy because that's the only way I can have me $10 or $20 in my pocket. My best friend gets shot and killed right in front of me. And I leave Austin just because of that. I go to Oklahoma City to live with my grandmother, who was a holy roller. She went and took me to JCPenney, and boy, I got my first pair of nice shoes and got some drawers and some T-shirts and took a bath and a first shower I'd ever had. I'm talking about I'm 16 years old. That was a good woman. I finished high school. I'm smoking weed, I'm drinking Boom Farm, I'm listening to Marvin Gaye, I'm having a good time. I get out of high school, I go to Langston University in Langston, Oklahoma. I play football, and I play good. And in '75, I'm drafted by the Dallas Cowboys. I go to the Super Bowl my rookie year. I meet Richard Pryor, who was my buddy. My daughter needs some water. So we're at the Super Bowl, and I'm the captain of the specialty teams. And the man comes out and said, we're going to flip, see heads or tails, who's going to kick off receiving this game. Hell no. So the man comes out, he's got this big piece of gold, this gold coin. It was a 200-year-old coin. And we're going to flip to see who's going to heads or tails for this, you know. And I'm standing in the middle of the field. It's America, it's the Super Bowl and the big gold piece. He said heads and tails, and I look at it, and what am I thinking? I'm thinking, I want to steal the coin. About all the things you could be thinking, I want to steal the coin. Early on in my NFL career, I started using cocaine. I snorted so much cocaine that I tore the septum out of my nose. I just didn't have time to grind it. It was just, I would just take matches and I just do this. And so I ate rock through my nose for several years. And when I got introduced to smoking, I didn't like it at first. But I have to tell you this, though, I've seen dope I wanted to make jewelry out of. You know what I mean? I've seen some pretty cocaine over the years. I mean, you've seen some of that really pretty cocaine. I mean, it was pretty. And the problem with Thomas Henderson is I like cocaine. And so I was always in trouble with cocaine. I like dope. I'm a victim of liking it. As a matter of fact, from the moment I started drinking to when I smoked weed to I went to cocaine, I was always headed for a bad place because I like dope. I like dope. I was just thinking about Michael Jackson. He don't even know he dead. We know. He don't know he dead. How goddamn sleep you want to get? So, I played for the Dallas Cowboys for 5 years. I played in 3 Super Bowls. This is a World Championship Super Bowl ring. So I got it going on, but this cocaine has got other plans for me. The Monday before Thanksgiving 1979, Tom Landry called me into a team meeting personally, wanted me to come talk to him. So I loaded up. And I went into his office, and he said, we got a problem. I'm going to have to let you go. And I said, well, I don't like it around this motherfucker here nowhere. I said, hell, I'm sick and tired of your ass too. Now, you know how many times I want to take that back? So he said he want to waive me, which meant I could have went on to the worst team in the NFL. I say to him, I'm all filled. I went to the restroom, took a break, come back. I said, you can't fire me, I quit. So that kept me out for the rest of that year. the next year, the 49ers, Bill Walsh signs me. So I go up to San Francisco, and OJ was there with his snitching ass. Now me and this motherfucker we go out and snort cocaine all night long, and then the next day he tell Eddie Bartolo Hollywood got a coke problem. I came to tell you the truth. So I'm at Candlestick Park one night, geeking, because I done smoked all the way to the park. I'm in the huddle with a helmet on and shoulder pads. I'm in the middle of the field. And I look down on the ground, I go, is that a rock? Am I a coke addict or what? They fired me from the 49ers, and they didn't tell the Houston Oilers I was coming. You know, I stayed in Houston for like 3 or 4 months, and I don't remember any of it. I made $125,000 for 10 weeks of work. The last game, I didn't have $1. I was smoking, and I was tripping, and I was paranoid. You know, it got so bad with me that I started just cooking up my dope and throwing it on the floor. Shit, I wanted something to be down there when I went to fucking look for it, you know. You know, shit. Why the hell you go, be tripping? Shit. I had a Doberman, this dog. And I'm smoking one night, and I'm fucking looking out the window, and he's going over there with me. He's shaking his ass, and he's looking out the window with me, and I keep fucking with the window. Finally, the dog talked to me. He said, hey, fool, if there's anybody out there, I'd be barking, and stop it. I just don't know how it got so bad. So then Don Shula signed me. Now, in 1981, Miami is the last place a crackhead ought to be going to. I went to this Jamaican woman's house. I was smoking. I didn't have no matches, so I lit this candle that was on her wall. And I was smoking from the candle. You know, I had some rum, and I had lit this candle because I knew I was going to be out of, matches. I burned the woman's house down. I left, and they called me, and they said, you got a message in here that said some woman's house burned down. You know, during that time, the FBI came to see me down there, the ATF and Drug Enforcement Agency, and everybody knew that I was a crackhead. Everybody knew I was an addict. The government, the FBI, everybody knew. So I go to that treatment center that I was telling you about, and when I was leaving there, My boys came and got me in my Benz, and I'm riding down the highway headed back toward Texas. I've been in there 60 days, got my nose fixed. They went in there and tied my septum back together, and I was in treatment and counseling and therapy and all this stuff. And I get out of there, man, we're riding back to Texas, man. I'm going down the highway. I ain't been out of treatment 10 minutes. I fired up a big old fat joint, skunk weed, and said to my boy, yeah, I think this program's gonna work. So then came Long Beach. Then came the shame on my family. He says, long if it was me hurting me, but when I shamed my family and my friends and my children, it became something else. I was in the Long Beach jail charged with sexual misconduct, and I looked in this mirror, this dirty mirror, and I wondered, who the fuck are you? I've been tied up in the cocaine from, say, 76 through 83. I mean, so I'm 7 years and broke after making millions. Don't know where it is. Cocaine is destroying everything about me, everything that I worked so hard for. I mean, I was a great football player. I could have been in the Hall of Fame. But cocaine took that away from me. So I met this doctor, Joe Persh, in California, and I started going to CA and AA meetings early on. I mean, you know, CA is only 26 years old. I'm 25 years, 9 months clean and sober. So I was really close. I mean, I knew Johnny Siegel very well. I knew a lot of the people who started this program. I started a program in Austin. Of course, the Nazis took over. It went to NA. I'm sorry. I didn't mean that. Yeah, I did. So here's how I got sober. I went to treatment, and then I went to 3 meetings a day for 7 months. I pleaded no contest to those charges and got 28 months in prison. I have to tell you, though, June 10th, 1984, I'm leaving Palm Springs, an AA convention down here, June 10th, 1984. If you know AA, June 10th is AA's anniversary number, June 10th, 1935. I'm leaving Palm Springs. I'm going to prison in the morning on June 11th. I'm with a friend of mine from treatment. Now, he didn't relapse 4 or 5 times. He's my best teacher. We go down the street to get a Coke. He gets a goddamn pint of vodka. I'm watching him. I said, this is nuts. We in treatment. And I'm watching him. So we leave in Palm Springs, headed back to Orange County. I'm going to prison in the morning. You know, I'm finna go where somebody gonna ask me, maybe, you gonna be the husband or you gonna be the wife? You know, you go to prison, you know, you might, you know. That's when ghetto really works out for you. I mean, I can go, I was at Folsom and, you know, Chino, but, you know, I was raised a damn fool first, see. So I did okay in prison. I really did. So Tom, we're headed back to Orange County, and Tom says something very interesting to me. I got 7 months. I'm holding on with everything I got to this thing called recovery. I'm holding on to it. I'm just trying to do that. I'm working my steps. I got a sponsor. I'm going to 3 meetings a day 'cause I ain't got no job. And people like Roger Staubach and Too Tall Jones and Drew Pearson were sending me little checks and kind of keeping me where I didn't have to go look for no job. So my job was to get clean and stay clean. And so me and Tom, I'm going to prison in the morning, and I just want to say this to the newcomer. We're coming back, and I'm going to prison in the morning. He says these words to me: let's go to Santa Ana and get high. I got some girls up there with a bag. One of the toughest nights in my recovery.
Sorry to interrupt your viewing. Taper Dave here. Just wanted to take a second to ask you to like and subscribe to my channel. Let me know if you like what you're listening. I've got some very good talks here, and this one's a great one. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Tell me what you think.
And you'll have 1,000 nights like that as if you stay in this program, that you got to make that decision to keep doing what you're doing. So it was a right to go to Santa Ana, a left to go to Costa Mesa. I went to Costa Mesa. And I went to prison the next day. Prison, that's the best 28 months I'd had in a while. Huh? Prison was a relief for me. I did 28 months. I got out in 1986, and I made a decision to be clean. I got out, I was 3 years clean. By the way, I ain't had a drink or a drug since November the 8th, 1983, and for that, I'm truly grateful. So now the part about living comes in, where you go through something like I went through, and now you got to prove it every day to your family, to your friends, to your colleagues, that everything's going to be okay. Because now I want to be a good son. Because now I want to be a good father. Now I want to be a good brother, a good friend, a good neighbor. I just want to do better. I was looking at this TV show one day, and on this news channel, the scroll across there said, "Man on drugs cuts off private part, cooks it, and eats it." And I was thinking, I ain't gonna do none of that dope. I didn't know what he was doing, but I don't want none of that. Whatever that was, I don't want none of that. I got married in prison. I married a girl in the program, and we got married in prison. Our honeymoon was a roll of quarters standing in front of a vending machine. That's funny, actually. I left California in 1989 and moved back to Texas. I went home and built a football stadium for kids. I fasted for 7 days and raised $350,000 to build a track for that same deal. And in 2000, I bought some lottery tickets. And I won $28 million. I was 16 years clean when I hit the lottery. And I asked myself the question. I looked in the mirror. I said, you all right? I mean, maybe time to go to Columbia. Or don't be looking for no kibbles and Bix. Let's get some goddamn boulders here, baby. I gave my family and friends $10,000 and a note. Don't ask me for no more damn money. My life has been good. Cocaine Anonymous played a vital role in my life. I identified with that substance because that substance kicked my ass. That substance destroyed my life. That substance shamed my family. That substance turned me into somebody that I didn't recognize. I look around the room here and I'm just grateful to see that CA is still alive. I'm so glad that CA is still alive. And the reason that it's cool to be in recovery is kind of like that you can count on people in the rooms. It's hard for me sometimes to go to meetings today because people want other shit from me. I want to go to a meeting, they want to talk about a job. I said, nah, do I look like Walmart? But it reminds me of a story where you might need somebody. This guy, man, fell off this boat, and these two boys ended up on this island. And one of them went out there, started writing help in the sand and lining up coconuts and SOS. And the other boy went over and sat down, opened up a coconut, and started drinking. And the boy said, "You ain't gonna help me?" He said, "I'm fine, dog. I'm good." He said, "What do you mean? We got to get off this island." He said, "Man, I'm good." He said, "Listen, I tithe. I make $2 million a year, and I tithe. I give my pastor $200,000 a year. Been doing it for 10 years. He said, "What does that have to do with us getting off this island?" He said, "Oh, my pastor gonna find me." I don't know about you, but my pastor coming. In recovery, I've lost my mother. I've lost my stepdad, who I love dearly. I've been through a lot. I live in Austin, Texas. I also live in Florida. I still work with a lot of people. I don't speak as much as I used to because mostly I do it in clinics and I get real therapeutic about it. But I love my life today. My life was literally destroyed, and I still walk around with some of the shame of what happened. It shouldn't have happened to that girl. Some of the things I did on crack, I am just utterly ashamed of. And that's part of recovery, that the longer you stop doing shit like that, sort of the better it gets, because I know all of us want to be the best we can be. We want to work. We want to have a spiritual life. We really want to take care of our kids. We want to be good people. But cocaine took us to places where our mothers didn't recognize us. Our grandmas wondered, who the fuck are you? We stole from them. We hurt them. Why? To what? To get high? To get high. It's been a long road. Sometimes, I love to play golf. But lately, I'm getting to the point now where I probably need to refocus a little bit more on because people have run me away from the rooms. I still go to about one meeting a week. I still, Ken Cross sends me some shit every day. Who's on the email of Ken Cross? Anybody else? Hello. I love that stuff, you know what I mean? It's like a meeting in front of my computer. Back in the day when I played for the Cowboys, I always tell this story. I'm telling this for Neil now. I played with a guy named Ed Too Tall Jones, 6'9", 280 pounds. We were roommates. And Too Tall snored like something you ain't never heard. And one night, I just couldn't get him to sleep. It's 4 a.m. He's sleeping, I ain't sleeping. So I go over to his bed and pick his head up off the pillow and kiss him right on the mouth. Lay his head back down, go back over and get in my bed and go to sleep. I didn't have to worry about him snoring anymore because he sat up in bed and watched me the rest of the night. If you're new, I took very serious working the steps of this program with a sponsor. Step one, I just turned it over. I mean, right there, I knew that I was a drug addict and alcoholic and that my life had become unmanageable. It was very clear. You know, step one has two parts. Step two, nuts. Just fucking crazy. I acknowledged that, accepted that, and moved from there. 3, asked God to come and be a part of this. 4, I wrote that list and stuff I had to do about what I'd been doing. 5, I told somebody about it. 6 and 7 was about trying to be better than I was. Because today, I just want to be credible. I want to do what I say I'm going to do. I want to be who I say I am. And so then I get to step 8 and 9. I made that list of persons. Then I make amends. I'm still making amends. I ran into a man a month ago in Dallas. Man loaned me this Corvette. And look here. It was wet that night. And I was smoking in a Corvette. And I was going through downtown Dallas doing about 100 miles an hour. And you know how slippery those Corvettes are. Man, there wasn't no fiberglass nowhere on that car when I took it back to that man. Well, that was 30 years ago. I ran into him at a party. And I went up to him to make amends. He said, "You had insurance? Hell, you didn't know it." So it was taken care of. I live in steps 10, 11, and 12. I think that the way my sponsor did it with me back in those days is if you do them right once, you don't have to go redo them no more. 10 is there. It says continue to take personal inventory when you're wrong. And 11 says, saw through. And then 12 says work with some drunks. So it does. Some addicts, it is. So I was lucky with the teachers I had. I knew Chuck C. And the one thing that Chuck C said that I like today is, with my little 25 years, 9 months, here's what I know about that tonight. I just know I ain't got enough time yet. I ain't got enough time yet. Because this thing, the thing we like, that cocaine, that smoking, that ritual, that thing we do. I hope and pray everybody in this room tonight stays clean. I'm really glad that I was invited back out here to California. I don't come very much because I'm way over there in Texas. But I'm grateful to be here tonight. And I wanted to be honest and candid tonight to tell you about my shame, about what brought me into these rooms, and what keeps me in these rooms, because I don't want to feel like that no more. See, that's one of the deterrents for me, is I don't want to feel like that no more. And so my prayer is always this prayer: God, thank you for letting me, Thomas Henderson, laugh and smile again. But please, God, don't ever let me forget that I cried. Thank you very much.
I think we got a great talk going on here. Thanks for watching the channel. Taper Dave here. Just curious, do you think this is better than Zoom? Okay, this is how I prepare my drone for launching. I like to do it inside the cab of my truck so I'm not standing outside in the weather. To install the joysticks for control, up and down, right and left, powered on. I have an Android phone that I use to connect it to the drone with, and it's actually controlled through the iPhone through an app. Oops, wrong way. It's actually controlled through the iPhone, or through this Android phone, through the app. It's actually controlled through the Android phone through an app, and you connect it through this short connection right here.
Remote control connected.
Remote control's connected. So I pull out the drone. I have to extend the legs. Long legs extended first, then the short legs. Remove the gimbal protector. Set that aside, then power it on one short burst, then one long burst. I lay it down. So I have to go to calibrate. So the drone's not connected yet. It shows you here as this drone gets disconnected, even though the remote's powered on. So the drone has to establish it's connected. So I go into the app to calibration mode. First I'll calibrate the remote controller. Start calibration. Out, in, out, in, up, down, and then this little wheel is to control the gimbal. So it's calibrated. Go to gimbal calibration, start calibration, and then it calibrates the gimbal. I don't know if that shows up. The gimbal's moving all over the place. Changes, you can see it on the video. And I'm calibrated to take off. It's acquired 7 satellites at the moment. There are 26 satellites up in the sky, which it has to acquire before you can take off. So it's connected. It's got enough satellites. This is white. I can go to press this little arrow button, swipe right to take off, and it would start the motors if I slid this to the right, but I'll wait till I get outside. Don't want to do it inside.